You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Welcome to another episode. It's so good to have you here. Today I am joined by a very special guest. Well, she's not really a guest. She's overseen everything, making sure I give you the exact details that you need. And that is Ruby. You might be thinking, who's Ruby? Ruby is my beautiful, scrumptious, 3-year-old fluffy tuxedo cat. She sometimes makes a guest appearance in lessons, and today she is curled up on my knee, purring away. So if you hear any purring in the background, she's happy with what I'm delivering to you. I'm excited for me and Ruby to bring you this episode because we're diving into the one dangerous character block that stops you fully immersing. Now, if you're new to the podcast, I've been coaching actors many years, coming up to, in fact, next month, it's going to be 14 years. How exciting. Time flies by when you're having fun, hey? So yeah, for 14 years, I've been coaching actors, specifically new and early career actors. And what I'm going to talk to you about is going to shine a light on something that I have seen over those 14 years that really does obviously not only block the connection to the character, but it has a massive effect on confidence. And to become an unstoppable actor, there's 3 things you need in place. You need the mindset, the belief that you can do this. You need the skills, which is what I'm going to share with you in this episode. And then you need to take action. Now, if you've got the skills and you believe in yourself, you're going to be more likely to take action, aren't you? And that's what I want, because that is what makes an unstoppable actor. If you're returning, and this is another episode of many that you've listened to, thank you so much for regularly tuning in. Always a pleasure to have you here. Let's dive into this then. So the one dangerous character block that stops you fully immersing is over-preparing. Why? Why is over-preparing a dangerous character block? So what's actually interesting about over-preparing is that you are doing more than is necessary. And it could be coming from a place of fear. So it might be the fear of criticism. It might be the fear of failing. It might be the fear of looking silly. It might even be coming from a fearful place of needing to impress. It can also be disguised as a way of trying to control everything. So it's something we need to be mindful of. You cannot possibly be prepared for every single outcome with a scene and a character. So this is why over-preparing is bad. Now, you'll hear me time and time again on this podcast, if you've listened for a while, talk about mental tension. So the thing I want you to know about mental tension is, and we kind of touched upon it briefly on the last episode, is that mental tension is any thought that blocks you from being present. Over-preparing stops you from being present. What it does instead is it keeps you inside your head, stuck in these stories that loop in your brain. What that then does is it triggers feelings inside of you, usually fear, usually panic. Sometimes these can be really low level. We spoke about this on the last episode, so they're barely noticeable. Sometimes they can be really obvious, and sometimes they can be somewhere in the middle. But the feelings then trigger the mental tension to grow even more. And then that mental tension, which is those stories, then feed into that feeling, which amplifies, and we get stuck in this feedback loop. And that feedback loop then causes us to do things that we think are productive, we think are useful, but they're actually hindering us. And over-preparing is one of those things. So what does this actually look like then? So over-preparing can look like reading the script over and 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 over times a gazillion. It can look like making a crazy amount of notes on either your script or in a notebook or in a journal. And these notes can be, anything from how the character's going to react, what they're going to feel in each moment, what their intention is in each moment, what their thought process is. It could even go all the way down to every gasp, facial expression, emotion they're going to feel, and the way they're going to say their lines. Now, of course, that's an extreme version. There can be more subtle versions of that as well. And yes, you do want to read the script multiple times until you have absolutely impressed that character into the subconscious. And yes, you want to pull out all of the clues about their intentions and who they are, but we don't want to do it to the point of over preparation, because when we are over preparing, you'll start to find there are some clues that are given to you. And one of those clues is that it starts to become a nuisance when you can no longer connect to the character on either an emotional level or inhabiting their inner drives and desires. And what tends to happen is your acting will then become forced, generic, lacking vitality, and mechanical. And mechanical is the key thing here that we want to avoid, because mechanical means devoid of feeling. It means robotic, lifeless. So the idea of reading the script over and over again is there to fuel your imagination, to feed it, to nourish it. So it's got lots of inspiration, because inspiration in Latin means to invite. So we want to invite in ideas that allow us to make big, bold, interesting choices, but not to get stuck in patterns, which is another way of saying the scene or the characters become mechanical, which we've just touched upon. Now, method actor Anthony Hopkins, who has been around for absolute decades, reads his scripts 150 times, and this works for him because he's not getting sucked into mechanical performances. And there's nothing wrong with reading your script 150 times if that's what you want to do, but you must always, always, always be doing it from a place of discovery, of curiosity, of asking why like a child, so it does fuel the imagination, so you discover something new. And of course, being an actor is a creative process. So when we're reading the script multiple times, we want to be in the space of building an identity and a persona for this person based on the clues, which also then builds out their mannerisms physically. But again, as this is a creative process, it means not getting attached to every single idea and letting go of some, because that is the process of being creative. It also means being very assured in who this character is that you'll be expressing throughout the life of the audition or the play or the film, in a sense that you can respond to every moment as them, but without having to engineer what every moment will be. So what it means when we over-prepare is that we get stuck in our logical brain, the logical side of our brain. We're no longer creative, we're no longer free, we're no longer in an artistic prison of creativity. And this is low-level nerves, because over-preparing isn't trusting the process, it's fear-based. Nerves are fear-based. They are the occupational disease of the actor. So what do we need to do? We prepare. We can read the script countless times. However, we have to let go of the preparation at some point. And this is the hardest part for so many actors, because it means letting go of this framework that we've constructed, and it means accepting that you cannot possibly know the outcome of every moment. But it's also knowing that when you do let go, you open yourself up to way more opportunities and possibilities in the scene. You pave the way for new moments to be discovered. You pave the way for new parts of the character coming through. It means trusting yourself to create. Because when you over-prepare, you simply don't trust yourself on some level. And you can do this. You can do this. You can trust yourself to create, because you do this every single day of your life. You create your own life. Just forget characters for now. You create your own life every single day. Some parts of the day you bloody love, you really like, and there's some parts that you don't. That's the process, right? That's the process of creation. But holding on to the prep work means you're not being creative. It's like the example that's coming to mind is, it's like clutching on so tightly to the sides of the boat and never truly experiencing the full beauty of the sea or the river or the lake of where you are on this boat. Now, we were having a chat last night in class about acting being really similar to driving. It is one of my favourite analogies when it comes to acting. And here in the UK, we've got this saying that goes, you learn to drive when you pass your test. And I absolutely do not believe that. I believe you learn to drive in your lessons and you gain experience when you've passed your test. And it's exactly the same with acting. You learn to act in the training. You learn where you're heading down stray paths and stray roads and along routes that are going to take you to dead ends. You learn what works. You gain experience when you complete the training. But over-preparing would be like constantly repeating what you need to do in the driver's seat. It means you never get to enjoy the true beauty of the journey because you are always inside your head. And that is what over-preparation does. It leads to you being inside your head and also giving yourself a hard time. Because if you stray away from something that you've not prepared, you freak out. And then you get pissed off at yourself for freaking out and pissed off at yourself for doing something else if you didn't think it was good enough. So we don't want to over-prepare. I'm going to reiterate, yes, read the script multiple times. Yes, pull out the characters' intentions. Yes, pull out the clues about who they are, but do not micromanage the performance. And at some point, let go of all that preparation. Just take a chance with that. It means forgetting it. And when you forget it, it doesn't mean, oh, I go into the scene blank and I don't know what I'm doing. It actually means trusting yourself to know that all the ideas you've come up with are in your unconscious mind. They're there, but you're not thinking about them. They're not weighing heavy in your mind, because then you can be present with your scene partner. Then you can be present with your imagination, and you have got to trust that your imagination and your unconscious mind will throw out this preparation that is buried deep in your unconscious. But the only way we can do that and access it and truly surrender is by relaxing. And to relax, we have got to let go of these nerves. As I said in the last episode, nerves are not necessarily something we feel to an extreme degree in our body. They can be very, very, very subtle, barely noticeable. And that's why I've created the Nerve Destroyer. So the Nerve Destroyer is something I've created. It's an online pre-recorded method acting course that is absolutely brilliant. I'm making it available for 500 actors for free. You can take this training as many times as you want. There's loads of practical method acting exercises in there. There's scenes for you to test these new exercises out on. But the aim of this course is to destroy nerves so you can become present and you can become a very strong actor, one who lives through the moment and is deeply immersed in the character. And that's why the course is called The Nerve Destroyer, Lose Yourself in the Role. It is a complete training for new and early career actors. I'd highly recommend you go and get a place whilst it's free, because the free places are not going to be around for very long. Once all 500 have gone, that's it. It turns paid. So you can go and get that course by clicking the link underneath the episode, or you can go to this link, type it in your search engine, bit.ly/nerve destroyer. That's bit.ly/nerve destroyer, all in lowercase. I really hope this episode has given you lots of new ideas, lots of inspiration. I hope it's fired you up and got you feeling really bloody determined to release this over preparation and to become aware of it when you start falling into the trap of it if you've not been aware of it in the past. And if you have enjoyed the episode, please do leave a rating. It lets me know that you're enjoying it and that you're taking a lot from it. See you in the next episode, and I hope to see you in the Nerve Destroyer. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.